It tells me that you're not interacting with sunlight or getting the appropriate signaling, whether it's cold or sunlight, to initiate that cascade of converting T4 into T3 in the morning, because it only happens in the morning because it's active. If it were to happen at any other point in time, it will keep you awake, right? And that might happen depending on your behavior, right? If you're somebody who works night shift, for example, you'll start to see this trend change because of how they interact with light, because light is what governs the activation of this process, right? So you must have free T4 and free T3. I could care less about TSH.
And again, what you just highlighted is that data without context means nothing, because you can look at this and say, oh, you completely messed up. You need thyroid support, this and that. And then they go, oh, I work a night shift. And you're like, okay, none of this makes sense now. Don't listen to what I just said. Let's flip it over. Okay. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%, right? That's what I'm saying. You
And
need
that's
to know.
distinctions that doctors never make. They never ask you anything.
No, they ask you that they never ask you anything. You step in, they put you on a scale, they measure your height, they take your age, right? Your date of birth, and that's it. So they know how old you are, they know what you weigh, and know your height, and then they just tell you a whole bunch of things without asking what lifestyle you live, when you get outside, when you don't get outside, what do you do at night, what time of day do you work? They don't ask you any of that. How could they ever recommend anything if they don't know, though, that, with the framework that we just put out in the very beginning of this video? You must know the internal environment, which they are getting that. But then to interpret it, you must know the external environment. If you don't know that, don't even bother, because you're gonna have a 50% strike rate, right? You might as well flip a coin as far as like what to do.
It brings me to this, like, oh, fasting increases your growth hormone and that increases your testosterone. And I'm like, yeah, at that point of the day, but what does it actually do to your body? Means nothing. It's just a response that you were starving your body.
Yeah, it's just reacting to what you did, right? And that then once you understand that, then you can start dictating things to do, right? The biggest thing that the takeaway from this is, yes, sometimes a supplement will help some of this stuff. Sometimes a peptide or a hormone will help some of this stuff. But often it's a combination of, there might be one or two of these things and a lot of work. You must do some work, right? Whether that's changing your lifestyle or doing a certain activity at a certain time of the day. And sometimes the work isn't actually work. It means, hey, I'm going to take a lunch break. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to take my shirt off at the park and eat my lunch. Sometimes that's the best solution.
Yeah,
which isn't,
and you kind of covered that in our previous video about longevity, like hacks. You gave specific hacks that people can do to improve your health.